Will she ever speak English to our children when they're older? How will we all communicate with each other? Sir, if you don't stop the melodramatic, shut your idiot mouth. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Man, the past couple of stories have been a roller coaster where I went from like really upset to really sad, and today I think I'm going right back up the hill to really upset. The post today is called Love My Wife, Wish We Were on the Same Page with Language. Help? I'll give you something. I don't know if it's help though. Hello fellow marriage community. So I have been married for 5 years now to my wife, and I have 3 beautiful children, all under 4. Ooh, wait. Y'all need to take a break. Let me just start off by saying I really do love my wife. She has been good to me and takes a lot of my faults and ups and downs. I'm so thankful for that, but some important things I feel like we're not on the same page. She is a native French speaker and moved to the States her early teens. We speak English to each other and always have. I am also of French background. Les poissons, les poissons. But I always feel uncomfortable speaking it because I'm not confident in my speech. I am a native English speaker and French is secondary. I can understand it perfectly, but again, I don't like really speaking it because I don't feel comfortable. What my wife really liked about me when we first met was that I was a French background too. What the issue comes down to is how we communicate to our children. My wife exclusively only speaks French to our children. And I've never heard her say one sentence to our children in English. How disastrous that your children will be bilingual. The horror. What is wrong with this man? I've come to accept that in a way, but it has me concerned. Will she ever speak English to our children when they're older? How will we all communicate with each other? Sir, if you don't stop the melodramatics, you have a mouth, you have a voice, you speak English, they can speak English and French to you. Shut your idiot mouth. I've mixed both languages here and there. No cheese on my croissant. But she will only stick exclusively to French. Again, what is the problem? To her, the problem lies with me. I would wholeheartedly agree. She hates when I speak English to them and has confronted me about it a few times. She says as they get older in school, they'll get English, and that our focus should be speaking and teaching them French only in the house. Okay, there seems to be a disconnect here. It is pretty foolish of you to have married a woman from France that speaks French, that was excited about connecting with somebody that also has French background, and expect this woman to not speak to her children in French. Both of you are also talking past each other. You don't seem to be expressing the fact that you're uncomfortable with speaking French, and she seems to have thought that this is a given, that you're going to speak French to your children. 3 children under 4 years old, and you didn't mention wanting them to speak English at any point in time?
Imbécile.
I don't give her a hard time for speaking only French anymore, but is she out of line for telling me these things? To not hurt her feelings, I only use basic communication with my kids, mixing in both languages, but I feel so trapped inside, and I don't know why. Like I'm craving in and not speaking to my kids how I feel comfortable. I think he's trying to say caving in. So much for being poetic. I want them to learn both languages, but I don't know if I want to live in a household where the 5 of us will never be able to speak to each other freely in one language.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyone else been in a similar situation? Really appreciate any advice. He's such a little whiny baby, and I can't take it. The issue lies in the lack of communication, or the poor communication around what your expectations are. In this year of 2025, speaking 2 languages should be a bare minimum for everybody. He's just so stupid. I can't. Comments please. I'm checked out. I'm not seeing what the issue is here. The kids will grow up bilingual. They're not gonna stare at your wife bug-eyed because she's speaking French to them if she's been teaching them since birth. Once they go to English-speaking schools, they'll be better at English anyway. It's smart to teach them a second language at home when they're inundated with English in the rest of the world. There's somebody that said when my oldest niece was around 4, she talked a gibberish of English, French, and Portuguese. Then one day, it was like a light went off. She spoke English to her parents, Portuguese to her grandparents, and French in preschool and in the park.
Could you do you want?
Kids will figure it out. I think the only issue here is potentially that your wife may not be taking into consideration how you feel. I believe, And maybe it's just me wanting to make everything your fault at this point. The only reason that she wouldn't be taking into consideration the way that you feel about your French skills is because you have not told her. And if you have told her, hey, I'm not comfortable speaking French, I would have assumed that you would have put it in this post. You did not. Y'all could go to a marriage counselor to establish some parameters for how French learning could happen in your home. And at the same time, that should only happen after you have had the guts to sit down with this woman and have a heartfelt conversation about what your fears and concerns are. Until you do that, you are a coward. Imaginary gavel. We're done. What do you think about this story? Have you personally grown up in an environment where your parents spoke different languages or where another language was introduced to you? I would love to know more about your firsthand experience with these kinds of scenarios. As we always say on our channel, with God, all things are possible, and I will see you soon. Take care.